Greetings, precious, magnificent spirit soul. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Take a nice deep breath right where you are. Be right there, because you're always right there, right now. And my topic, no one is equal to you. Well, people say, what do you mean? We're all equal to each other. No, you have to look at what equal is. Equal is a mathematical construct, idea. And equal means the same. You could say in math, 3 plus 1 equals 4. So 4 is equal to 3 plus 1. Well, in some way, they're vague, but when we really look at what the dictionary tells you they are the same and must be treated as identical. You're not identical to anyone, and no one is identical to you. See, what happens is half-truths capture people, and every teaching that is going to get followers has to have some truth. And then, even what I'm doing, I mean, I have a preconceived notion or idea of what I'm doing, which is to benefit you, to empower you, to enrich you, for you to know and be fully who you are, activated of whatever is our divine potential, whatever that may be. And what happens with the word equal, it means the same and identical, so that we'll say no one is different from anyone else. Okay, now, when you do sleuthing, spiritual sleuthing, one of the things that you use is as above, so below. But it's never as below, so above. They don't go together. There's no microcosm in the macro. It doesn't exist. So how you get half-truths is like you'll take the word absolute, and then when that's an absolute, and that's you. And when you get split, you see, you get split. You become relative. And that means that you're living in a relative world where opposites are in opposition, yet needing each other, because that's how this reality, virtual reality, operates. It works on that friction between positive and negative. So when you take a side or any side of anything, you are participating in a game. And games have to have sides. And we're going to see, and what are games? Who's going to be the winner and who's going to be the loser? Who's going to be right? Who's going to be wrong? This is all how the mind games operate. And to look at the full truth of you being absolute, relativity is a duality. It's a construct, where in the absolute there is no construct, because it's who you are. You are the absolute. Now, when someone comes along and says there's no absolute, everything's relative, they're giving you a concept that says, oh, it's absolute, that there are no absolutes. I mean, you have to use your, it's not, I wouldn't call it critical thinking, but critical awareness. And as a spiritual sleuth, you wanted to be able to know truth from false. So therefore, you have to look at similarities and that sort of thing, as above, so below. So when you look at who and what is completely identical are insects, which is kind of interesting. So they don't have any differences. They're completely identical to each other, like put out of a same mold, same pattern. That's not true for us. We have the sameness of where we are, is that we are, let's call it particles, sparks of the divine energy, life force, divine being, supreme being, source, partner, whatever you want to call this, where, and I would use, like, say, a drop of water has all the qualities of the bucket of water that it was taken out of. And yet, it's not identical. It also has its own characteristics. Yet we're all drawing from the same fabric, the same qualities, the same powers, the same abilities. That's who we are. Yet we're always individuals. And see, what'll happen is when someone's giving you a partial truth to trap you into a system that is working against you, they will take a partial truth, such as we're the same, but they leave off and you're different. Like, and I'm very surprised that some really good researchers will go and say, oh, yeah, because you're not different. You're because in the mind you're all different. Well, yes and no, because you're not really. Everybody in the mind is not different. They are controlled by a thought system, a thought form entity, you might say, and controlled by those thoughts and those beliefs, those words, those programs, that education in intellectualism, religion, medicine, all of these kind of things. And they all look really complicated. So they have to have huge libraries, huge storage, on the internet, whatever it may be, with your data and your information about the outer world. But it is really not about you. You're not a math problem. You're not controlled by numbers and by letters and sounds and such, because you are an eternal divine being. This is who you are, with all divine godlike powers, qualities, and abilities. And I don't mean a god like I'm on a throne here and I'm the big deal. I wear a big crown on my head. I wear big stuff and I got badges all over me. We don't need no stinking badges. I got badges all over me because this is who I am. And I drive around big old things in a tank, and I'm powerful, man. Look, it's usually little weak little weasels, little weenie weasels, It says how big I am, how great I am, and I'm the God, I'm the big deal. All this is delusion. And what happens is when you start to think that we're all equal and the same, what it is insect mentality. And they all have a queen bee in the insect realm, and they all sacrifice themselves for this queen bee, for the survival of the gene pool, so to speak, of a oneness hive mentality mind, where we're all the same in formation and have the same thoughts, the same beliefs, the same concepts, the same rules, the same laws, and they're all made with what? Words. Okay, so realize you're not equal to anyone, and no one is equal to you. And you are special, and a partial truth will say you're not special, because everybody is special. And what happens as a divine being, there is, what would you say, eternal and infinite variety. Because of who we are, we're capable of being, doing, and having whatever it is that we need or choose to manifest. And you want to take a look at this. Your body is a manifesting machine device. That's for this reality. And when you know how this operates and how you operate and how this world operates, you're able to manifest whatever you need to fulfill your purposes and your goals and your objectives and what it is that you intend. And that's my work. So I invite you to contact me. I do counseling over the phone. I do that on love offering. It's important always to give, because in the giving and the receiving, yet that's a love offering. So some people get nervous about that, or think they can't, or they're not important enough or valuable enough. Don't do that. I am there to serve and to help you to be all that you can be, because that is what we do as divine beings, divine beings. And then also retreats and workshops. So I have retreats coming up and workshops at Mount Shasta. There's motels up here. There's hotels. There's camping. There's all kinds of options. There's Airbnb and such, and vacation rentals. And it's a beautiful place to come and to be, and to give yourself a retreat, treat yourself again to the opportunity to really invest in who you are and to do the work. And then also then I have daytime retreats, not retreats, but classes and courses, and also mentoring for your career and your work. So just email me at terry@terrycolewhitaker.com, and please, thank you so much for all of you who do help financially to do this, because this is what we're doing together, and whatever you contribute to this work allows us to make the videos to get out to people all over the world, regardless of what they have or where they are. If they can watch this, they can be empowered and enriched in their lives. So just remember this. You're not the same and identical with anyone else, even if you're an identical twin. No, no. We're each an authentic, absolute, individual, special, and divine person. And yet we're all drawing from the same source of our powers and abilities. So we are the same and different. And it's called Achincha Beta Beta Tattva in Sanskrit, which is ancient language of the divine. Says we're inconceivably, can't conceive of it, simultaneously, not at different times, the same and different. So when you realize that, that's what allows us, what would you say, to express and to the fullness of who we really are. So take a nice deep breath and appreciate your specialness, your individuality, and uniqueness, and your, what would you say, unlimited divine powers. Activate who and what you are, and your life really begins.